Hey guys, welcome back to the TohirT channel. TohirT is here. I hope you had a fantastic week. Yes, look at that. I got my hands on two new upcoming Xbox consoles. Okay, quite frankly, stupid joke, but this is as good as it gets when it comes to current videos that exist all over the YouTube with tech reviewers getting their hands on Xboxes. So, without any kind of too much of deliberation, jokes, making fun of it. Ultimately, I am here to talk about the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X, like if these are the real consoles. And I'm gonna talk about the value, gonna talk about the breakdown, and just in general share why I'm excited about this upcoming generation of consoles, albeit they're gonna look way better than this. Let's do this! If you're curious to see impressions of actual gadgets, actual software applications, different services that are out there, as well as you're just curious to hear my reviews of those items, well, check out this playlist over here or the end card at the end of the video. Well, I think I should explain myself, and especially this charade with the boxes. You will see today multiple videos on YouTube from big tech reviewers who are essentially talking about the impressions of what the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S are like, but the clickbait in there is that the boxes they receive are essentially the production copies of the cases. So those will be the actual cases that the consoles will come in, essentially the outer shell, but there's nothing inside. Literally, as this box, they're empty. There's no tech, there's no gadgets inside, and in this video, I want to break down the value of Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. So no jokes aside, we'll stop the charades. Going forward, I will do a little bit of a math for you. I'll talk a little bit about the value, and I will give you the recommendation of what I think should be your choice, especially if this is the first time you're evaluating a purchase of the Xbox console. Also, I will not be doing direct comparison to the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, 3, any prior generations, overall and primarily because unfortunately I never had a chance to play as much on the PlayStation consoles. So early on, couldn't afford them, then eventually I was a PC gamer, then moved into the Xbox, kind of like naturally from one Windows platform to the other, and from then on out, I'm just too busy, man. It's like, I love seeing the games like Spider-Man. I love seeing what God of War coming together. I love seeing like a Horizon Zero Dawn. There's so many great, amazing games on PS5, PS4. So you would definitely be very much at good place if you decide to go with those consoles. Unfortunately, I don't have as much experience, as well as, quite frankly, going forward, I cannot justify buying a second console. Like, I can barely justify with my 3 to 4 hours of gaming every week to own a single console. So that is why no Xbox fanboying, just simply this is my area of expertise, this is what I'm most experienced in, and this is why I will help to break down the value of this console for you. For this upcoming generation, Microsoft has a very curious strategy when it comes to releasing new Xbox console. There are two of them coming out on the same exact day. There is Microsoft Xbox Series X and Microsoft Xbox Series S. I know it's a mouthful, but they're not that many differences. The two key differences, besides the price, which we'll talk about, you should really focus on the fact that Xbox Series S, the white one, does not have a CD-ROM, where Xbox Series X, the black one, has one. Series S is maxed out at a 1440, as well as Series S is maxed out at too many letters. Series S, the white console, is maxed out at 1440p resolution, where Series X, the black one, is maxed out at the 4K. Whew, it took me quite a few takes to actually go through that. Not a huge difference. Believe me, unless you have a top-notch 4K screen, it will not make that big of a difference, and you'll be in a great shape at 1440p. Now, when it comes to the price difference, the X series comes Series X. Jesus, they need to do much better job with the naming convention. Series X comes at $500 retail price, where Series S comes at $300 price. Yes, decent difference, but the payment plans that Microsoft will now offer really makes a very curious case for why you should really consider the monthly installment payment, especially if you're the first-time buyer. The payment plans are relatively straightforward. You pay $35 a month for the Series X for 24-month contract, and you pay $25 a month for Series S for the same 24-month period. It is a 0% interest rate, so they do not charge you anything for taking advantage of that option, as well as you do get to keep the console after you pay those 24-month installments. Well, for the great mathematicians out there, you very quickly realize that 24 times 35 equals 850 and 24 times 25 equals 600. So this is like $200+ differences versus the retail price if you would pay for the console alone. Well, the difference is explained with Xbox Pass, and this is a very interesting type of service that I would really like you to consider. Again, especially if you are buying it for the first time and you want to make sure you save money on buying the games in the future. Xbox Gameplay. They really need to work on their marketing. There's so many words. Xbox Game Pass is probably one of the most exciting things that happened to the world of video games, primarily because the value proposition is that simple. You get to pay a monthly fee. For that monthly fee, you get access to the library. Library includes both old, new, and sometimes recently released games. And for all of that, you get to download the games for free. You essentially do not pay for every game, which to me gives you the opportunity to test different things, test different games that you would otherwise in past would pass on. Well, here you get to download, say 10, 20, 50, however many games your hard drive can handle. Try out different ones, see which ones you like, delete the rest. This is amazing value proposition. EA Play, which is essentially all EA franchises, your NHL, your NFL, your FIFA, your Need for Speed, your Battlefield, they all will be included in the same subscription come this fall. And on top of that, you get also the PC Game Pass for the same price within the same subscription, where you get to play all the different Windows games that are in the same program in the library, now in your PC. Okay, editor TohirT is here. So, of course, as luck would have it, as I checked the news earlier today on Monday, I saw that Microsoft did not only decide to prepare for the smooth release of their consoles tomorrow, Tuesday, the 21st. Yeah, I think 22nd. Forgetting the dates already, because they announced that they just acquired ZeniMax Media. ZeniMax Media, for those of you guys who are not necessarily familiar with the gaming industry, let's say that they own the Fallout franchise, the Elder Scrolls franchise, the Only Doom franchise, the Wolfenstein franchise, Arcane Studio, which is Dishonored and Prey. They essentially just added the killer portfolio of games that I'm 100% sure will show up on the Xbox Pass Ultimate. So if someone who you're buying it for, if it's a present that you're considering and they're into those games that I just mentioned and showed on the screen, well, that's going to be a big treat for them once that console is out and your friend, your relative, your loved one, someone who you really appreciate has access to the Xbox Pass Ultimate. And if that wasn't enough, it's still in beta, but they're currently testing the streaming gaming service where you would get to play all the console games or sometimes PC games off your mobile device or off your iPad, essentially enjoying the same quality, the same experience over the streaming connection. This is an amazing value proposition, especially at the Ultimate package where you get all of this together, and that is what is included when you purchase the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S at the monthly installment payment plan. If we bring back those price differences between the retail price and the total price that you would pay over the 24-month period, well, you need, and let's assume you will have to pay for the Xbox Gold Pass as well if you care about playing online. If not, you can subtract that $60 as well. But essentially, you can break even on that extra price difference as long as you play more than 6 games in 2 years. Listen, with 2 kids, full-time job, this hobby, I get to play more than 6 games a year probably. And you guys, especially if you have a lot of free time and gaming is one of your hobbies, well, this is beautiful value where you get free gaming, you get a console essentially at the retail price without any interest rate on it, and you also can afford a bigger, better console up front because you don't have to shell out $500. You just have to pay $35 for the next 2 years. It is a lot of information to digest. I fully understand that at this point we do need to summarize a few things for you. Number one, Microsoft is opening the gates into this generation with a very interesting strategy where you can really decide for yourself how much do you want to shell out up front versus how much you want to commit to monthly payments for the next 2 years, as well as how much technically you're prepared and where you want to be in the next console generation. What I mean by that is, if you do not have a good 4K TV right now or a big screen where you would play and enjoy those games in the 4K screen, and if you have solid enough internet connection to be able to download the games online from the Game Pass Ultimate, you don't need the CD-ROM, you don't need the 4K, which means you can save $200 and buy the Xbox Series S. I would actually highly recommend to anyone who is first-time buyer of the Xbox console, if you're buying it as a gift for like your grandchild or your kid, maybe a sibling, you have to save some money up front to be on the safe side. Go for Series S. This is a perfect console as a starter within the Xbox environment, and with Ultimate Pass, especially if they have a PC or a console, or if you have a solid enough mobile device, going forward they'll be able to enjoy the benefits of that subscription across their PC, their new Xbox Series S, and their mobile device. So to me, that's a no-nonsense, easy decision. And those $200 also will help you in case you're a more experienced console buyer and, for example, you're interested about the PS5 digital edition. Well, this is the $200 that you can now put towards the PS5 and essentially own both consoles, or maybe the Switch if you're into Nintendo games. To me, S Series offers so many interesting opportunities and at such a low cost that it's a no-nonsense, no-brainer decision. And we didn't even talk about the fact that, for example, Microsoft now offers, and some publishers take it as an optionality, an opportunity, for example, to upscale and upgrade the future games to that new 4K definition. This matters if you've seen those definitive edition of games where the game is released once, then 2-3 years later they release a definitive edition where they upscale all the graphics to make it look a little bit prettier. Well, Microsoft now offers it for free, as well as all the backwards compatible games are included. If you have access to digital versions of your Xbox One games, 360, Xbox One, they're terrible with their naming conventions. Xbox first one, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and now Xbox Series S, whatever that new generation is. Essentially all those games can be played on this new console, which is great, and it is a benefit and it is an advantage compared to Sony's and Nintendo's of the world, where you kind of have to shell out additional money and actually buy the new re-released versions of those games. So to summarize, fully wrap up this box, if you're interested, if you think you're sold, I think S Series is the way to go. I personally will go for the X Series simply because I do have solid 4K screens, as well as I'm just so ingrained in the Microsoft environment at this point. So to me, it just makes sense to go for it. But anyone new, anyone who's buying it as a gift, or for someone who wants to buy both PS5 and the new Xbox, well, Series S is the way to go. Did I help you to make up your mind about your future console? Is it Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, some other, whatever the letter they decide to pick? But if you're curious for me to make impressions or similar kind of videos about other tech and gadgets and maybe gaming consoles, well, share your thoughts and opinions in the section below. Microsoft's strategy overall probably deserves its own standalone video, simply because for those of you who are not privy too much into Microsoft outside of their console gaming, they're very much ingrained and they've been tremendously successful in their cloud computing environment, where Azure is essentially now becoming the standard and goes like neck and neck with AWS, Amazon's cloud service, and their Office 365, a lot of their other services that they put into cloud, give them that experience that essentially enables them to get way better at cloud computing for video gaming. That is why I'm so curious about the streaming service that they're about to offer, hopefully broadly and hopefully on iOS devices, since I'm not an Android user. But between that, between the subscription service for the video games, the Ultimate Pass, which now gives you access to so many games at the same monthly price, all of that creates this powerful environment. The one weak point that Xbox currently have, they don't have those like off-the-chain killer IPs. Like the God of War and the Spider-Man are really driving that pivotal point for Sony. But if you remove those two aside, Sony cannot hold the candle to Xbox in their cloud computing. And this is where I'm curious how the industry will evolve in a couple of years once we see this new console generation really settle in and the developers learning how to take a full advantage of all their technical capabilities. Thank you very much guys for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and check out the videos in the backlog. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for stopping by. As always, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this video, and I will see you all next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern on this very channel. Well, I learned this week that we are staying in the lockdown in my full-time job until July 2021. 9 months. Yes. So, the only reason I mention it, if you start noticing me shifting things here in the background, using more my second set, well, this is because I'm getting bored out of my mind and I'm trying to figure out what are other things and projects I can do at home. I think it's a great opportunity. I want to set up my new office now to turn it into the proper studio, but well, yeah, maybe time to pick up another hobby, or I don't know, maybe do some more stuff over here. I'll figure it out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.